Hey guys, welcome back. I hope you are having an amazing day. Let's get right into the stories. The first one is an entitled people story. Moving my elderly mother into a new neighborhood seemed like a great idea at first. The quiet cul-de-sac, manicured lawns, and active homeowners association made it the perfect place for her to live out her golden years in comfort. If only we had known about the power-hungry homeowner association head lurking behind the pristine facade. My name's Jenny, and when my siblings and I noticed Mom was having trouble getting around her big two-story house, we decided a cozy one-level home with less maintenance would be ideal. After an extensive search, we found a great ranch-style house in a 55-plus community. The neighborhood was clean, felt very safe, and best of all, had an homeowner association to take care of outside maintenance and repairs. On moving day, we met Claudia, the head of the homeowner association. She seemed friendly enough, giving us an exaggerated welcome, and making a big show of handing Mom her homeowner association info binder. But things took a turn once the ink dried on the deed. It started with petty things, citations for having the garage door open for too long, or for having a faded mailbox. Mom tried to fix the issues right away to avoid ruffling feathers, but Claudia always managed to find something else to pick on, even when we were actively in view making an improvement she had demanded. Then came the ugly notes left on Mom's front door, scolding her for not attending homeowner association meetings. But Claudia scheduled them for 7 p.m. on weeknights, when she knew my elderly mother would already be in bed. When I called to ask about changing the time to allow more residents to attend, Claudia refused. Things escalated when Claudia began triple parking her massive SUV in the guest spot beside Mom's reserved parking space. Our family visited multiple times per week, so not having that spot was a huge inconvenience. And since Claudia lived at the opposite end of the neighborhood, it made zero sense for her to park there. Clearly, she was doing it just to torment my mother. At first, we left polite notes asking Claudia not to take up the guest spot. When that didn't work, we appealed to her empathy, explaining that Mom had limited mobility and needed easy access for her weekly visits to the doctor. Claudia's response? A snippy note lecturing us about reading the homeowner association parking rules more carefully. I decided to fight fire with fire. I printed out a copy of the homeowner association bylaws and read them thoroughly. Just as I suspected, there was nothing prohibiting guests from using the unmarked spot beside a resident's assigned space. The next time Claudia blocked Mom's spot, I left a copy of the rules on her windshield, with the guest parking section highlighted. The following week, we awoke to find an amended copy of the homeowner association parking rules in our mailbox. Claudia had added an arbitrary new rule stating no guests were allowed to use the parking spaces under any circumstances. Mom and I were furious. We had specifically chosen this house because it had a space for visitors. I wanted to confront Claudia, but Mom pleaded with me not to cause trouble. So once again, I decided to go the legal route. I wrote a strongly worded letter to the homeowner association board, including photos of the multiple open spots surrounding Claudia's assigned space. I explained that she was intentionally blocking my disabled mother's visitor parking just to harass her. A few weeks went by without a response. In the meantime, Claudia continued her parking antics. She even graduated to leaving rude signs in Mom's guest space like, "No parking means you," with a big arrow pointed at the spot. The homeowner association board finally wrote back saying they were looking into the matter. It was clearly just a brush-off. I helped Mom file an official complaint against Claudia for discrimination under the Fair Housing Act. Since Mom's limited mobility qualified her as disabled, Claudia was violating federal law by blocking access for her visitors. We included a log of every date, time, and location Claudia had parked in the guest spot for the last 6 months. We even had photos showing her taking up multiple spots at once while other spaces sat empty. The evidence was overwhelming. A few weeks later, we got a letter stating that the homeowner association had assessed a warning fine against Claudia, which she tried to dispute. But they included a copy of the community parking guidelines, which specifically stated reserved visitor spots were not to be blocked under any circumstances. Her power trip was finally over. Embarrassed that her harassment was now documented in the homeowner association records, Claudia avoided us at all costs. Occasionally, we'd spot her glaring from her front window as we came to visit Mom. But at least now we could park in peace. The experience opened our eyes to the corruption that often hides beneath the surface of homeowner associations. While they provide some benefits to homeowners, far too many are plagued by leaders who abuse their minuscule amount of power. Our family learned to stand up to homeowner association bullies like Claudia. Just because they hand you a thick binder of nonsensical rules doesn't mean you have to blindly obey. Do your homework, stand your ground, and don't be afraid to get authorities involved if you're being discriminated against. In the end, we were thankful to split Claudia's power and show her she had messed with the wrong retiree. Mom has since been able to enjoy her home and frequent family visits. As for Claudia, she continues stewing in her own bitterness. But at least now she does it from afar. Justice was finally served. The next one is a pro-revenge story. I used to manage a catering company for my boss while he was undergoing chemotherapy. This is one of my first gigs where I was in charge. The bride calls me at 1 in the afternoon the day before the wedding and decides she wanted a cheaper menu. She and her husband already paid for almost everything, and it's far too late to change anything. I told her that, but she started throwing an idiot fit, saying that she wants to change the steak to a chicken, and demanded we either serve chicken or charge her the price of the chicken, and she will not be paying for anything extra. I informed her that according to the contract, she is to receive 150 steak lunches at a price of $50 per plate, and it also states that she can't change the menu unless she does it at least a month before the wedding. When she hears this, she flips the hell out and starts screaming at me, calling me illiterate, and telling me her fiancé is a lawyer and they will sue me, etc., etc. She handed the phone over to her fiancé, and he also started screaming at me, saying it's his damn wedding and he can have whatever he wants. They end up firing me at the moment, and I inform them that the cancellation fee is 90% of the cost of catering, which I was already paid for. And they start screaming at me, telling me that I ain't crap, and they can get anyone to cater for them, and they are going to make me pay for it, etc. They end up hanging up on me, thank God, and I had an inkling that I should probably keep making the food in case they call tomorrow and they want us to cater. So we finish cooking, and the next day at 7 a.m., I get a call from the groom, and he demands that I come down there to cater the wedding, or they are going to sue me for not providing service. I calmly tell the guy that they terminated the contract yesterday, and as per the termination clause on the contract, we are entitled to keep 90% of the entire cost of catering. He is raging. He didn't say anything, but I can feel how mad he is over the phone. After a moment of awkward silence, I inform him that if he would like us to cater the event, he has to do same-day catering, which is 3x the original price I charged him. He has to pay all fees in advance, and the food depends on what we have available and ready, and we also reserve the right to refuse service. He gets really pissed off at this point, telling us this is extortion. He already paid for food, so he didn't have to pay again. I informed him again of the termination clause, and also informed him that the food was for a previous contract, and that contract had ended, and he would have to pay for it again. He ended up starting a new contract with us, and for 3x the original price. He tried to change the menu again just to spite me, but I then made sure he knew I reserved the right to refuse service. He and his bridezilla kept everything the same down to the baby carrots, and of course the steak, all while paying me 3x the original price if they had just stuck with the original contract. As soon as we got to the venue, before I got anything out, I made the bride and groom sign the new contract and pay me completely in advance, $22K, and left to deposit the money. While I was gone, they harassed my caterers and threatened someone with deportation, even though they were legal. He tried to sue us later, and the judge heard the recorded phone calls, saw the contract, and told him to pay my legal fees. I looked them up on FB recently. Apparently they are divorced now. It's only been 3 years. The next one is a petty revenge story. This is the story of a casino Karen. Before we begin, a few things to know. The house always wins. Duh. Casino Karens are slightly different than regular Karens. 1. They must win immediately upon sitting down at a slot machine and get very angry when they do not. And 2. If you are winning and they are not, Casino Karens are even more unhappy. So last night, late in the evening at a nearby casino, I was meandering my way back to my hotel room after breaking even for the night. Yay. I stopped at a penny slot machine I like and decided to throw a few bucks in and play the minimum of 25 cents per spin, just for craps and giggles. Shortly after sitting down, Casino Karen plops down at a slot machine 2 over from me, which I know is generally not a great machine. Never see anyone really win on it, and it is not played much as a result, and immediately lights up a cigarette while boyfriend stands there to watch her. After a few spins at $1.25 a spin, she immediately starts complaining, and boyfriend joins her, saying, "These machines are rigged. This is awful!" I see why the casino regulars play the minimum. Now normally I am happy to see others winning because it makes the vibe more fun, but Karens, no, I hope they lose. So it just so happens just about the time Karen starts complaining, I get in a bonus. This pisses off Karen and her BF, and I hear them make a snide comment about how of course I am in the bonus and only playing 25 cents. Idiot. You know I can hear you, right? Karen then gets in the bonus on her machine too, and gets 40 free spins and only wins about $11, which is about what I got on my bonus playing 25 cents to her $1.25. You would have thought the world had stopped. The complaining ramped up about 10 more notches, and they kept idioting about 40 free spins and barely $10. So karmic fates shine down, and my machine decided to bonus several more times in very quick succession. Cue even more complaints. I try to be nice and tell them that I played it earlier at $1.25 a spin, and couldn't get a bonus to save my life. And isn't that how it goes? I get in the bonus at minimum bet. Silence from Karen and BF. Okay, that's how it is going to go. Was already irritated at the snide remark. Casino Karen proceeds to continue her non-stop complaining. Normal people just get up off a bad machine, and I could tell she was eyeing my machine up and would jump at the chance to get on it if I left. Been gambling a long time. I know when someone wants my machine. Despite being tired, part 1 of Petty Revenge is I decide to keep playing just to annoy her and manage to hit a $50 bonus, which you can imagine irritated her as it would have been $250 if I was playing $1.25 like her. About 3 Karen cigarettes later, she finally leaves, but only goes about 7. 8 machines down. I can tell BF keeps looking my way to see if I have left. Part 2 of Petty Revenge is I pull out a ticket I haven't cashed in yet from another machine that has about $250 in slot credits on it, and I insert it into my machine. This way, it looks like I won a really big bonus if they walk by to see how I'm doing and how many credits are on my machine. Of course, about 15 minutes later, they stroll by, and I can tell they are super annoyed to see I have over $350 in credits on the machine. Ha 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 ha. Once it was clear they were gone for good, I cashed out and went to bed. The next one is a malicious compliance story. To preface, I am a career butcher, and at the time was working for the food hole. If anyone isn't familiar, the meat department becomes crazy around November and doesn't abate until after Christmas. We took holiday orders in person then, now mostly all online unless they're odd. As you might imagine, the orders are usually for standing rib roasts, tenderloins, hams, turkeys, and ducks, geese. They really add up, and for my boss, sorting all the paper orders is a nightmare. Enter Karen. I would like to place a holiday order. Me. Gets relevant info. Cool, what would you like on the 24th? K. 1 pound of boneless chicken breast. Me. Oh, no problem. You actually don't need to order that. We'll have plenty of regular chicken, steaks, and burger. You only need to place an order for roasts, etc. K. I had to wait forever last year. This year, I don't want to wait, so I'll order it. Me. We'll have 2 lines, so if you're just coming to get regular items, you won't need to wait in the order line. K. But I want to make sure. At this point, I was already way done, so I decided I would comply. Maliciously. I took her order, then proceeded to inform every single person in my department of the situation and the plan. The day of, she came up, told the guy at the counter she wanted chicken breast. Having been warned by me, he asked, "Did you pre-order it?" K. Yes. Coworker. Okay, let me go search through the sheet to find your order. K. You can just grab it from the case. C. No, we already have yours put away. I'll find it. I wouldn't want it to get lost in the cooler and go bad over Christmas. K. Frustrated. Okay. Coworker goes to our order book, searches through, and finds her name and says, "Okay. I found you on the list. Now I just have to find your order." Coworker enters cooler, and as trying to find a pack of chicken breast in a cooler full of roasts is like trying to find a needle in a haystack. It took him about 15 minutes. At multiple points through the ordeal, other employees greeted her. She tried to get them to get her chicken breast, and they all told her, because I had warned them, that she had to wait for the ones specifically put aside for her. I estimate that she waited almost 30 minutes, including line time, to get to our counter. The next one is an entitled people story. I was going to park in a handicapped spot. I have a placard due to mobility issues, and before I could pull in, another car takes the spot. No big deal since I was feeling okay today, so I parked a few spots down, got my walker out, and was walking by the offending car. As I'm walking by, someone shouts, "I took your spot, old man," and laughed. I'm 52. His friends in the car laughed too. I looked up and it's my rich, entitled nephew. He didn't recognize me, and he has a small Toyota car which didn't stick out to me at all. The look on his face once he realized it was me was priceless. We have a family get-together next week, so this could be fun. Update. Thank you everyone for the great ideas and taking the time to read. As it turns out, the family event was moved to my home, which was great. My nephew and his family show up noticing the handicapped spot I drew with chalk in my driveway. His father asked why I had a handicap spot in my driveway, and I told him to look at it again, and he noticed his son's name. He asked why his son's name, and I told him to ask his son. After they had a stare down and awkward silence, his son actually told him the whole story. His dad was furious. My nephew spent the whole time at my house, they were here about 4 hours, doing my yard work and helping my wife, not spending time with anyone. My nephew will now be stopping by every week for the rest of the summer, probably about 10 weeks total, to do my yard work. I really need the help, so I'm glad his dad stepped up to let his son know this wasn't right. The next one is an entitled parent story. First, a little backstory. I recently moved across the country, back to warmer climates. It is very expensive to move furniture 2,000 miles, so a lot of stuff is cheaper to buy new. As I was separating my personal sentimental belongings from what I was going to replace, I had a brilliant idea. I decided to offer the stuff I wasn't taking with me for free online, as most of the items were still in good condition. I'd rather my old furniture and assorted items go to charities and people who could use them instead of the landfill. My only condition was that the person taking something had to pick up and transport any item themselves. The first item I posted was my pull-up tower with VKR. It had some minor wear and tear, but it was still in overall great condition. It was then that I encountered the dreaded EM. Thankfully, I only posted a newly created email account along with my town as my contact info to limit my exposure to potential threats, in this case, an irate Karen. No name, no address. Just the town so people could assess travel for pickup. Me EM mother completely detached from reality, IK innocent kid, college student. Soon after posting that my pull-up tower was available for free, I was contacted by IK. After an email correspondence, I suggested we talk on the phone and gave him my cell number. He called to discuss getting the tower. IK: Hi, I emailed you about the pull-up tower. I just started college at the state university in your town, and some friends and I are renting a house near campus. I think we could really use the equipment to save money by having it instead of a gym membership. Me: College is expensive, so I completely understand. Smart move on looking for ways to save money. I'd be happy to let you have it. You'll need to partially disassemble and reassemble it to get it through doorways. Nothing crazy, just a couple of screws and bolts. It's surprisingly lightweight at 75 pounds and easy to move, although I do recommend a van or something large for transport. When do you think you can come pick it up? IK: Probably next month. Me: Sorry, I'm moving in a couple of weeks, so I need it gone before then. If you can come sooner, it's yours. Otherwise, I'll have to give it to the next person. IK: Let me call my mom to borrow her car this weekend. It's a big SUV, and I should be able to swing by in a day or two. Me: Great, that's when everything started to go horribly wrong. It was clear from what transpired next that whoever coined the phrase "no good deed goes unpunished" had clearly met this EM. I get a phone call from IK's phone, so I answer. Me: Hello? EM: You can deliver my son's tower on Saturday at 10 a.m. Me: What? Who are you? EM: I'm the customer. Are you stupid or something? I want you to deliver his workout equipment on Saturday. That's when I can be at the house to let you in. I'm very busy, you know. Me: I'm not a store lady and I don't do deliveries. M: What? How dare you? I am a paying customer. Me: No, you aren't. The tower is free. I'm moving and giving it away. M: That's no excuse for treating a customer like this. I want to speak to your manager. I can have fired over this. As she continued to scream nonsense at me, the image of the stereotypical Karen haircut popped into my mind. I don't know whether she had one, but I'm guessing she did. I could practically see the haircut in my mind while she ranted. Her son seemed so nice and polite, so I'm wondering if he was adopted or there was a mix-up in the hospital. Then her next comment snaps me back to attention. EM: If you don't deliver on Saturday, I'll take my business elsewhere. Me: Fine by me. Later on, IK emailed me to apologize for his mother. Like I said, he was nice, so I'm guessing maybe he takes after his father. He said he still wanted the tower, and I told him he could still have it. He called me to get my address and directions, and that's when EM reappeared. IK: So what time works for you? Me: I have some meetings earlier in the day, but I can meet you after 5 p.m. I'm in the northern part of town and will text you the address when I get home. EM: Oh, it's you again. I hope you've learned how to be respectful to your customers. She must have snatched the phone from IK's hand because I could hear him protesting in the background. Me: Again, you are not a customer. It's free. EM: Well, that's no way to run a business, but I expect nothing less from an idiot. Me: Whatever, can you put IK back on? EM. Not until we get some things straightened out. Me. Like what? EM. If my son is going to pick up and assemble this himself, you need to compensate him. That's the polite thing to do. $500 sounds fair. Me. First, I'm not paying you to give your son something for free. Second, the item didn't even cost half that when it was still new, so no and no. EM. But my son is a smart college student with a bright future. His time is very valuable. Me. So is mine. EM. Not as much as my son's, so $500 should be fine. Besides, as a college student, he could use the money. Why are you being so selfish? Me. How is a free pull-up tower being selfish? EM. Also, what is the warranty on the product in case it breaks? Me. No money, no warranty. It's free and as is. EM. I need your company and warranty info in case it breaks and my son hurts himself, so I know who to sue. Lazy people, not the word she used. Like you don't make quality products. Me. I'm not a company. I don't work for the manufacturer. I didn't make it. I'm just moving and giving it away. What? Why are trying to give my son gifts then? Are you some pedophile trying to seduce my son? I should call the cops on you right now, and I'll tell them about the money you still owe me. I can have you arrested. Me. I don't have time to deal with a lunatic off her meds. Forget it. I'll just throw it out. How dare you? I ignored the rest of her calls, texts, and nasty voicemails that came throughout the day. Threats of suing me, demanding a refund, and claims that I was after her baby continued. Just bizarre. So glad I didn't post my address or name in the ad. I threw out the pull-up tower and considered the matter over. And I was wrong. Sunday morning rolls around and my phone rings. It's early, and I was still sleeping, so I didn't check my caller ID before answering. Me. Hello? I was only half awake and yawning. Where were you yesterday? I waited at the house all day for you to show up and deliver the tower. This is unacceptable. I'll have you fired over this. Me. What? Leave me alone, crazy lady. I'll accept your apology if you deliver it today, and you need to give me a full refund for the cost of the item. Being this late, I shouldn't have to pay for it. Me. You didn't pay anything. It was mine, and I threw the tower away. What? I'm calling the cops on you. How dare you throw away my stuff? You're going to be arrested. Me. The tower was mine to do with as I saw fit. I paid for it, and I have the receipt to prove it. I had every right to throw it out. You're going to pay for the delay, the cost of a new tower, or I'm taking you to court. I'll have you arrested for stealing and fraud and child. Me. Go ahead and try. The tower belonged to me. I have the receipt. I also have insane voicemails, threats, and texts from you. You have nothing. You'll be arrested for filing a false police report, death threats, stalking, and probably more, although you probably have a good shot at an insanity defense. I hung up and didn't pick up after that. She kept calling, but it didn't matter as I was getting a new number soon when I moved. After one Karen, I took down my ads and made arrangements with a local charity run by a nearby church to pick up anything they wanted for the poor. They weren't professional movers, so some of the heavier stuff had to be taken by a trash service. Her son emailed me again to apologize for his lunatic mother. I told him that he did nothing wrong and had nothing to apologize for. I said I was sorry he missed out on a free pull-up tower and wished him the best of luck in school. Thank you for watching. I would really appreciate it if you could like the video and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already.